Hello and welcome to Kelly Legends Media. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below. Set that notification bell on all so you'll be notified whenever a new video drops, and also if we go live. Also, take a second, hit that like button, the thumbs up, if you like the video or if you want to show some support to the channel. It really helps us in the algorithm to get the videos moving through there and streamed across more devices. The more likes, the more likely YouTube will want to stream your video more. That's why it's very important to content creators to get those likes. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the North and the South. I don't like to talk about politics, but it's a little bit of history and at the same time some encouragement as far as peace goes. And I know a lot of my words are just going to come out of my mouth and just pretty much just fall to the ground, because a lot of people, they don't want to hear it. A lot of people want to stay with the funk and feel some sort of way because of the history of how things have been taking place, especially up north. In Southern California, it's not like that. And I'm not sure that this is the reason, but I'm going to share something with everybody. Growing up around the 70s, the early 70s, there was a lot of guys who claimed that faction. There wasn't a divide with Southern California, Northern California. It was more a prison issue. But for those that know and those that have been around, they know that a lot of guys from down here, from down south, were very instrumental in getting that car going. You know, starting it off, even writing the Constitution and just participating in the reindeer games. Look at Tarzan, rest in peace. He just passed away recently from Pomona 12th Street. Pomona 12th Street, down here in Southern California. But he was a member of the faction up north. So back in the days, it wasn't, like I said, that divide wasn't there. It wasn't a geographical, oh, this is you guys, this is us, you know? No. A lot of guys from down here, I remember people I used to know who they were, just because the homies would say, hey man, ese vato, you know, he's one of them vatos from that claim up there or whatever, you know, that are on the other team, you know. And of course now the only reason why I'm speaking on this is because of the end to hostilities and the way things are behind the wall now. You know, with this end to hostilities, all of that problems that was going on between the North and the South has been squashed and put on the back burner. There's other things to worry about. And the powers to be have made it so. You know, there's that funk just don't go on in prison. Like I said, in Southern California, it's really not happening. Of course, it's different up north. There's a lot of sureños up north and the norteños that are constantly going at it. And I don't think that would really be going on if the situation was different. I believe it's because of a certain faction in corrections, let's say, that has sent palabra to the street saying, hey man, don't lay down your arms. You know what I mean? Like, keep this shit going. They have their reasons, you know. A lot of those guys gave their life to that cause, and they don't like the idea of the peace between the North and the South. Everybody knows we're the same people. You know, it's just Chicanos killing Chicanos, Mexicans killing Mexicans. They eat the same tacos, they like the same ranflas, everything. Speak the same languages, have some of the same exact roots, come from the same pueblas. It's I don't know. I just think it's crazy. But what could you say? Even down south, we're doing it to each other. Just the gangs in the street, are funking with each other over. Some of them are old beefs nobody knows about. Yeah, a lot of that has been stopped. There's been an end to a lot of that gang activity that's been going on, and priorities have been changed. I had seen a video where I think it was Gunners Collective was saying that he was on the first bus down to Nales. I think it was Nales or Los Padrinos, where one of the youth institutions, one of the YAs, right? Youth authorities, and how they were the first one there, and how they weren't received well, and eventually there was problems, and yeah, that's understandable, especially for the time when it happened. It was back when things were jumping off behind the walls, also in the streets, so it's only natural that it would happen in the youth authorities too. That was like the youth authority was kind of like the training ground. The indoctrination happened in the youth authority. By the time you did your time in the youth authority, you were ready to go to the joint. You know how to conduct yourself, and you know what time it was as far as who's who, and what the rules are, and what's going on. So I don't know what's going on in the youth authority right now between the North and the South, if they're mixed, and if they're having problems. I know a lot of those places have been closed down. Nevertheless, there's still a lot of funk going on. You could see even between the rappers, they'd be banging on each other and stuff, carrying on this North and South beef, and I don't mean Northern California and Southern California. I'm talking about a North and South beef, I know it could be squashed if the right people were to send word and put an end to it, but don't see that happening anytime in the near future, the way things are going, and being that they're not, people are dying. We're losing young kids, man, to all of this craziness. Even innocent people, There's been instances where homies will fire at a car and the girl driving gets it. She's not even from anywhere, stuff like that, where innocent people are getting hit, in exchanges. So it's all bad, man. It's all bad for the community. It's all bad for the youth, and it's all bad for the Chicanos and the Mexicanos in Southern California and in Northern California, regardless what you're claiming or what flag you're under. It's like we're the same people, man, and it's a shame. Like I can't even righteously throw that out there without mentioning the fact that we do this here down south to each other. There's none of them vatos down here, so we don't got nobody to take the focus off of. So we're at it with each other, in the streets, and we're losing young people down here. Same things happening. One thing though that I noticed, I have noticed some changes down here Of course, I'm not up in Northern California. Um, I listen to what's going on up there, but I really don't see it for myself down here. I listen to what's going on. Plus, I witness a lot of things. And one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the kids, man, they're like getting into mini bikes and bike riding. There's a lot of places that have opened up, gyms and stuff, where kids are getting into boxing. A lot of them are getting into martial arts. Like, parents are really taking the time to and can afford to put kids into programs like this, which I think helps to keep them from being in the street, you know, and getting caught up on in barullo, you know. Whatever it is, it's nice to see, you know. I'm gonna make some clips, some shorts on the little activity I caught over the weekend where these kids were doing tricks on their mini bikes, popping wheelies and laying rubber down, you know, spinning in circles, smoking their tires and stuff, whatever it's called. And a bunch of young kids and young girls, you know, just hanging out, having fun, you know. And I parked my car and I took a little bit of footage. And I remember back in the days when I was young and we used to race up and down my street in mini bikes. A lot of us had mini bikes. A lot of us used to go bike riding, you know, I'm not going to mention it because a lot of people wouldn't know the place that I'm talking about. But we used to go on very long rides on our bikes. Sometimes we'd put them together on just bike parts that we would steal, and because we couldn't afford a bike, and we'd put a bike together, you know, and we'd take off, man, and we'd have our dogs following us, you know. We'd go to a park with a big old lake and get in the water, and the dogs would jump in the water, and, you know, kid stuff, you know. So when I seen these kids on the mini bike, it took me back, and I thought, man, you know, those were good days, you know. Anyways, I'm sorry. I kind of started rambling and kind of took off on a good one there, but it's just that I see car washes too, man, and pictures of some of the people at the car washes, you know, that the people are carrying, young kids, you know, lost to gang activity, you know, gang war. Just a waste of lives, man. You know, we're just losing our kids to a bunch of bullshit. Anyways, yeah, I remember back in the 70s, there was a lot of guys from that claimed the northern faction living down here. And later on, you know, sometime they divided Northern California and Southern California. And then it became a geographical thing, you know, territorial thing. But anyways, anybody has any kind of history about that, especially anybody, I know people from up north sometimes watch my videos. Let me know what you remember about this, and you know, when they did that and why they did that division of Northern California and Southern California. I could ask people down here, you know, but I'd like to get, I wouldn't call it advice, but I would like to get some opinions and some thoughts about it from guys that live up north, you know, their perspective, what they remember, you know. Anyways, this is my video for today. Thanks for watching. And I was gonna say something, but I don't want it to come out wrong. But I'm gonna say it like this: everybody's welcome to this channel. I don't care. I don't care where you're from, where you live, what country you're in, what color's your skin. None of that matters, you know, to me. And I ask that everybody keep it the same on the comment section. You know, don't gang bang on each other or disrespect each other. This ain't the place to do it. If I see any of that, I'll just block. You know, I got to do something about keeping everything good for my people. You know. Anyways, I hope to hear from you in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. What you guys remember. You know, I need a little clecha on the north and the south. How things like worked out the way they did, where that divide came in, and how these gangs ended up in Southern California and spread to all these areas and all of this. You know, some history. You know, I don't want to hear barullo. I want to hear history. You know, if you don't mind sharing, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for watching this video, and take care, people, man. Keep your kids safe and stay safe yourselves. You know, it could be dangerous sometimes out even going out getting something to eat. You know, you got to keep your head on a swivel and, you know, make good decisions sometimes when people act up. Stay free, people. It's nothing like being free. Beautiful thing. God bless you. God bless your families. Hope to see you on the next video. If you haven't hit that like button and you're still watching, that's because you need to hit it. If you're still with me, hit it, because you stood this long. You might as well. Only takes a second. Thank you very much for watching, man. See you on the next one.